Hi, it's Josh Ellsworth with Stahls, and I'm here to talk to you about a quality heat press investment. Hundreds of thousands of businesses invest in a heat press every year. The problem is they're often investing in the wrong type of press, which creates results that aren't quality and that's putting them out of business. So today what I'd like to talk to you about is the Hotronix Heat Press. This is a machine that's manufactured in the USA, and I'd like to compare the feature set of this press and the results that that will deliver to your business versus an import machine that's really going to leave you out of business sooner than later. So with that, let's walk in and see the differences. So there's a lot of technical terms that go into the manufacturing of a heat press platen, but the main thing is you want it flat to ensure it's delivering accurate pressure across all parts of the lower surface. First check is let's make sure this upper platen is flat. Hold a straight edge from corner to corner across the machine, and you should see no gaps between the edge of the ruler and the top of the heating element. Now let's do that same test on the inexpensive machine that was imported. You can see the gap that's showing between the straight edge from the corners and towards the center left of the machine. We're seeing a distance in there, and on light pressure applications, that means that it's not going to be even and you're going to have issues with that area of the print. Since we're on the topic of pressure, I'd like to point out another big difference. This machine has the pressure adjustment at the back of the press. Now that's okay, it allows it to adjust the pressure up and down, but it creates a major issue for application that we call pinching, and you don't get even pressure from the center out. So when you lock this machine down, you'll see at the back of the machine, it's actually meeting down before the front of the machine meets down, which causes application issues, especially on thicker items when you want to sublimate or do some different decoration techniques. Now, differently than that, Hotronix innovated and patented this feature of the over-center pressure adjustment, so you get even pressure flowing from the center out, but also the upper flotational platen. So when you're locking it down, the platen actually levels out before it makes contact with your garment or item, creating accurate heat applications every time. With a good understanding of pressure, the next thing I'd like to talk about is temperature and what the machine is actually reading versus what it's achieving. And then we're actually going to cut open one of these heating elements to show you the difference with how they're made and what's inside. But let me grab my digital thermometer, and you'll see we have the Hotronix heat press set for 340 degrees. And if I hold my digital thermometer up against the platen and give it time to come up to temperature, it's reading 336 degrees. So within 3 to 5 degrees of what's on the control board. And there's a couple reasons why, but the point is it's accurate. Let's go over to our import press, which is reading at 340 degrees on the control board. Let's hold the same digital thermometer to the same location on the press, and we can see it reading nearly 100-degree variance. That's going to cause major issues when your customers wash garments that have been pressed on this machine, and I bet they won't be coming back to order more. So we've talked a lot about the accuracy of the machine and the quality of the results that you can produce. Now I'd like to actually talk about the longevity of the machine in its framework, and then also how you load the machine and what you can make with it. So when you look at the Hotronix machine, we see all laser cut steel framework, and we see nice clean robotic welds. So you get a nice durable high quality machine, and that's covered with a 5-year warranty. When we look at the import machine, we don't see a laser cut framework. We see a piece that's been hand welded together, which can create longevity issues over time. And so you'll see the warranty on these machines typically reflect that, and you're encouraged to throw these away every year and replace it with a new machine. So when you consider the life of the press and how long this one's going to last you, you're actually going to get a lot more for your money in addition to the quality results. After that, we need to consider what can I actually make with the press. This particular press, you can see, is flat on the table. There's no ability to change out the lower platen to split your items and to thread them on. And that's going to create further pressure issues when you start to get seams on here, talk about pressing items like left chest logos on polos like I'm wearing, or bags, those sorts of things. With the Hotronix machine, we have the quick load cantilever design where you just open up, change out the attachment, load an appropriate size, and then you can split your item and thread it on. So you're going to be able to grow with this machine and print more items which will generate more sales opportunities for your business. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more at the end about some of the extra Hotronix features that you don't get on an import press, but I'm anxious to get this heater cut apart so I can show you the difference in the element and the RTD probe. Okay, so now that we got the heating elements cut apart, we're able to look inside of the top heater and see the difference. So when you look at the Hotronix heating element, you can see it has the element cast into the top heater. And so when we put a ruler up against that, we get a much thicker heater, which is going to retain the heat and be a better build in between applications, so you're not losing temperature. So this one's 3/4 of an inch thick. When we look at the import press, it's pretty thin. We're only talking about a 1/4 inch thick, which is going to create problems when you're heat pressing a lot of shirts, shirt after shirt. The other difference we see is when we look at the actual element itself, on the Hotronix you have the element spaced and it's cast in here, so it's tough to see, but it's every 1.5 inches apart. So this is the actual piece that goes inside of the element for whatever size that it is. They're 1.5 inches apart, which gives you even heat on all areas of the top platen. Here, this one's actually not bad. They're spaced 2 inches apart, so not as good as the Hotronix, but often on these inexpensive import presses, you see this is where it gets a little bit, you compromise on not only the thickness with how it retains heat, but you'll often see these elements in a Z pattern or extra distance apart, creating cold spots on the machine, creating further issues with application. Now, the other big thing I want to point out that we found when we opened this up was where it's actually measuring temperature from. So it looks like this one is actually measuring from a screw that's into the platen and reading the temperature back to the control board, whereas the Hotronix has an RTD probe that actually has a location in each element where the probe reaches all the way down right behind the surface of where the element is meeting the garment, giving you an accurate temperature readout, and we saw it to the degree accuracy when we did the test with the digital temperature thermometer. So all in all, you're getting a much better, not only element spacing, but a better heater altogether, which is why we give a lifetime warranty on these heaters. So hopefully you're starting to see the difference between a high quality US-made Hotronix machine versus this inexpensive import press. Now I want to show you a couple additional features on this Hotronix auto open clam before we conclude, but first I need to clear some space. And I consider this saving one business from a bad heat press investment. Let's put this press where it belongs and show you the last features on the Hotronix. The two additional features on this machine that don't have a comparable on any other press are the automatic opening. So when I lock the machine down, it counts down to 0 and it opens, allowing me to multitask as an operator. And the digital pressure readout, which means when I lock the machine down, it actually reads a pressure number from 0 to 9 that can be adjusted when you adjust the over center pressure adjustment up or down. By having that digital pressure readout along with the digital time and temperature, it takes the guesswork out of heat application. So when you think about it, a heat press is a big investment into the future of your apparel decorating business. And I firmly believe that Hotronix presses measure time, temperature, and pressure better than any other press on the market, delivering quality results for your business time after time.